Welcome back to CGI U Stories. I'm here with Tyler Spencer. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you.
And you currently study at Oxford.
Yes.
But you're from the States.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your commitment this year.
My commitment is to scale up a nonprofit I started in DC 2 years ago called the Grassroot Project. And we train Division I college athletes to roll out HIV/AIDS education and life skills programs for middle school kids in DC. So we're hoping to reach more kids this year and to train more athletes and involve 2 new universities in the DC metro area.
Where do the athletes come from? Are they from all over the country?
They are, well, we're focused on DC, and our programs are really intensive in DC. So we have athletes from Georgetown, Howard University, and George Washington University currently, but we're hoping to involve athletes from Maryland and University of Maryland and American University.
So what does the program consist of, and can you tell us a little bit about sort of a day in the life, some anecdotes and stories?
It's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, HIV is a really serious issue, and it's very frustrating sometimes when you sort of jump into it, hearing some of the things kids say, some of the things parents say, but it's a really fun way to address it and to get everyone sort of at a basic level of knowledge and comfort in talking about it. Mm-hmm. But basically the way the program works is we train college athletes over the course of 2 weekends in the very beginning of the school year. So they basically have to give up all day Saturday and Sunday. And we teach them how to facilitate this curriculum, which is really participatory, really fun. It's games-based, and it's adapted from an NGO I used to work with in South Africa. And back there, the curriculum was taken from sort of a didactic, lesson-based program and turned into these really fun games that use sports metaphors to still teach the same really important key objectives and messages from the more traditional curriculum. So the athletes will go out into the schools and they will implement this program 1 day a week for pretty much the duration of the school term. And then in the end, we bring all of the kids together from all of the middle schools we work in, all of the athletes together, and we have this big celebration where the kids give speeches and share the information that they learned and have a big, pizza party and get their T-shirts. And it's a really fun time.
And I assume it's a win-win for both the students and the athletes.
Yeah, my sort of, our primary target is the kids because they are statistically most at risk for this disease, and we feel like we can have a huge impact on them. But one of sort of my secondary target population is the college athletes, because my experience and my motivation to start the organization comes from me being an athlete working in South Africa on a very similar project. And I think when I looked at my peers, so many college athletes can fall into this thing where they go through college thinking that they're there, especially scholarship athletes, that they're there to play their sport and that's their job, that's their identity. School may or may not be important to them, and certainly being involved in the community may or may not be a priority. And if it is a priority, there often aren't a lot of ways for college athletes to get out and volunteer. So I'm equally passionate about being able to take something that college athletes love, sports, and showing them a way to see how that can make a difference beyond the playing field, because the majority of college athletes do not go pro, and when they graduate, that's sort of the end of it for them. And so there's this whole issue of what do I do now? And so my goal with the organization is also to be able to give college athletes a ton of other options and to help them discover things that they're passionate about through their engagement right in their community.
That's terrific. So how long has it been running for, and do you have folks that have kind of left the fold, and what are their stories like?
Students or the college students or the kids?
The kids.
The kids,
yeah.
Okay. A story that I always tell is, I started the program in 2009. And in our pilot program, initially I was involved in every single level of the organization, which is great, and I kind of miss it a little bit. But I was there, rolling out the program with the kids alongside the athletes. And on the first day of our first school, we had this girl who, literally cussed me out, saying that this was irrelevant, she didn't want to do it, and she wasn't going to participate. And she was the only kid sat on the wall the whole first day. And all the other kids participated. Eventually, I think she kind of warmed up to us and realized that, she could be having fun. And, 5 weeks into the program, I remember taking her out to get a drink of water. And this girl who had said that this was irrelevant, she didn't care and she didn't want to talk about it, told me while she was getting a drink of water that her aunt had died of AIDS and her sister was HIV positive. And the same girl at the end of the program had developed so much and had gotten so engaged in it that she came to Georgetown and gave a speech in front of Georgetown athletes, her peers, teachers from the schools about her aunt and about her sister and about how this program had helped her to, in her words, to not make the same mistakes that they did.
Wow.
And so it was just huge that she was able to open up and share that. And it was huge that she felt like she'd learned so much through the program.
Right, and what a transformation from start to finish.
Right.
That's great. So what is next for you?
What is next? Well, our next big thing is, we want to bring this program to scale, and we've had other universities and other cities that have been interested in getting involved, but the priority is to do a really thorough evaluation of the program. We've been collecting pre and post quizzes from the kids, throughout, but next year we want to launch like a comprehensive evaluation of the program and see really where we're most effective, what pieces of the curriculum we may or may not need to adapt, and if we are to take the program to scale in the future, how we would go about that process. Does New York need to address issues that DC doesn't, and how will we do that? But really, taking the program to scale, I'd love to see it in all DC middle schools and charter schools, and then from there, looking at other cities that have HIV/AIDS problems and bringing the model.
I love these kinds of models too, because you could potentially do something like a micro franchise, right? Take it and replicate it and let others operate it.
Right.
Or like a TEDx model.
Right.
Kind of give them the toolkit and then let them go forward with it.